I remember when the first personal computers came out at Radio Shack. I was lucky enough to get one, the Tandy 1000. And boy, it was a lot of fun. And I was introduced into video games around that time, and they have been a big part of my life. I've always been able to enjoy them until now. This has been the most difficult time in my life to put them down and turn them off. Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinson's. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you'll consider subscribing. Everyone else, thank you for your continued love and support. And just so you know, my wife Haley is going to join us later on in this video just to talk about this issue from her side as a caregiver. And we're so very, very grateful for that. Thank you, sweetheart. But we have a lot of challenging information to get to, so let's get right to it. Do you remember getting your first cell phone? Were you very excited? I was very excited. And I remember getting my first few phone calls on it. I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Boy, oh boy, has that changed now. It's been just over 2 days since I called Haley to come and talk to me in the bedroom. I was basically at the end of my rope. What happened was, about 30 days ago or so, I downloaded what I could describe as a time tap game. It's one where you play it on your cell phone and basically you tap to get a reward. And you need to tap at a certain time. And they can take many different forms. A zoo, a carnival, a coffee shop. Heck, I've even seen a hospital one. Or like a clan war game. But they all revolve around the issue of tapping on the screen at the right time and doing the right thing. And that produces a funny little sound and you get a reward. And it just impacted my brain so much. And the first couple days were fun, but then it got really, really addictive. And the last 2 weeks, I've tried to quit. I've tried to put the game down. But I'll delete the game, but then I'll re-download it a few hours later. And it just became all-consuming. It was like getting that reward, completing the daily quests were the most important thing in my life at that time. It was just everything but the game began to seem unimportant. It was one of my greatest fears of Parkinson's come to life, but I wasn't able to stop. I wasn't able to do anything, even though I knew I needed to stop. Just such a weird situation to be in. I'm just going to read you something here that I think you're going to find very interesting. And before I read this, I just want to mention that all the resources are in the description below if you want to follow up anything that I mentioned in this video today. According to the dopamine theory of addiction, playing video games causes a quick release of dopamine. This causes our reward system to be flooded by a sudden rush of dopamine, which makes us feel pleasure and happiness. When we play video games for prolonged periods, I was playing this game for 5 hours a day sometimes in a row. That was definitely too long. This can create a dopamine imbalance. Other activities don't provide us with the same amount of dopamine, which leads us to play more and more games to feel the same level of satisfaction as we once did. When I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, I remember being afraid of impulse control disorders. I remember hearing stories about people gambling away their life savings or being caught in addictions such as drugs, alcohol, shopping, or sexual addictions. I mean, what a way to scare someone who just got diagnosed. But the thing was, I didn't know what it felt like to be trapped. I didn't know what it felt like not being able to stop. And I gotta tell you, it's terrifying. It's somewhere I don't ever want to be again. I felt like that movie character Tron stuck in a video game and unable to get out. And I want to tell you, this is really hard to talk about because it became a very embarrassing situation. I mean, I'm a grown man. How could I not be able to turn off a video game? How could I not be able to turn off a little cell phone game, put the phone down and go to sleep? But the thing was, I was waking up in the middle of the night to play it too. I would wake up for like 1 or 2 hours and play the game. And it was just it's such a bad feeling. It's so much shame and embarrassment. All I wanted was my freedom back. I just wasn't able to get to it on my own. Having a cell phone wasn't fun anymore. Before we have Haley on, I just want to talk about a few more things. What was going on was I was hurting myself and I didn't realize it because I was sitting a long time, like sitting on the couch most of the day playing the game, and that was hurting my fitness, my balance, my ability to walk, my ability to sleep, and I was tired all the time. So even though I wasn't like directly hurting myself, I was causing the potential to hurt myself to come about. Because if I didn't get out and get my walk, my fitness would go down, my balance would go down, and the potential to fall every day would increase. And that's what happened. I needed help more and more from Haley. I was going off more often and calling her for help. And it just was embarrassing because I knew I should stop, but I couldn't do it. And another thing in my life that was suffering was YouTube. I missed publishing some videos, and it was getting difficult to make them because I couldn't concentrate on what I was doing for more than 5 minutes. I would need to go back and check my time tap game. Even though I knew it was at least an hour until I needed to, I just needed to check in to make sure there was nothing else I could do to get a reward. I mean, if you're caught in something similar, you gotta reach out and get help. Now, I've got a lot of shame and embarrassment over this, but the thing I think about is, what if I had waited a couple more months? What if I had waited until I had fallen to get help? If you're stuck in something like this, you need to get help right away and get out of it. Now, when I first called you to talk about this problem, what were your first few thoughts?
Mine is because, truthfully, because we haven't gone through this step before, this is all brand new, and I thought it was just a game, truthfully. Just a simple game, but what I saw is he's playing on his phone a lot. You were.
Yeah, I was on my phone a lot.
Yeah, it's like weird. Like, what's so interesting on his phone that can make him want to have his phone at all times? So I didn't actually understand first at the beginning that a game could be that interesting to be on it and play on it that much. Just a simple game at the beginning.
So you were surprised that a simple cell phone game could be so addicting and entrapping.
Yeah. Because I've never been in that situation. I've read about it, but I didn't understand.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get, what were your thoughts? What was your reaction?
It was more like you sat here, but you didn't interact either. You were just on your phone. That's all. Like, you didn't actually interact with me, and it got to the point I'm like, well, I'll just go to my room, or I'll just do something else, because he's not interacting with me. So I thought that was a bit weird. And when I am laid up, usually you check on me more often, or hey, how you doing, kind of thing, and how you feeling? Can I get you something? But the last few times I've had a flare up, and I haven't got anything. You didn't come in, and I thought that was a bit weird for you.
So you started to notice some behavior changes.
Yeah, very behavioral things. Or two, you weren't working out. Like, you weren't. It just, with Dave, it's sort of like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do 6 laps around and then go boxing. I thought, that's weird.
Were you putting these different behaviors together and, like, pointing it towards anything, or were you just getting frustrated?
I was mostly getting frustrated, I have to say. I was starting to get annoying because I was like, he's on the phone. But I got really irritated because I sit on the couch and all you're doing is on your phone. But I didn't know what it was on your phone. Your whole personality changed.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, I'll just basically figure out what the heck is wrong with you. Because with Parkinson's and mild cognitive impairment, it could be anything. And his mobility's gone off.
Yeah.
Dystonia all the time. Or you lose your balance more. I thought, that's not Dave. You wouldn't go out walking laps, or you weren't working out on your punching bag or anything. With Parkinson's, you have to keep going. Like, you can't stop.
No.
Like, last time you did that you didn't exercise, you fell on the toilet and all that. You couldn't walk around. It was just wham, like, you're doing all this stuff and then all of a sudden it just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was weird, and I'm like, hey, these symptoms are very weird and very fast.
Mm-hmm. So what would you say to other caregivers out there?
Check your spouse's phone. Well, first thing, it's because Dave approached me, and unfortunately, I saw the symptoms, but I didn't know what they were. Because we've never dealt with that yet. Check. Hey, it's like, what have you done? Like, what you doing on your phone? It could be interesting. What is it like? And you confessed it was a game, and I'm like, okay, it's a game. I play games.
Yeah, so you wrote it off as not important.
Exactly. It's just a phone. Like, I thought YouTube, but I thought he hasn't mentioned YouTube, or we're just not doing stuff.
Yeah, I was very embarrassed and felt a lot of shame that I wasn't able to stop.
Like, everyone plays a game. But when you mention that you're addicted to it, I'm like, that explains all the stuff that you've been doing. Like, I don't understand, like, how playing a game can put you whole decreases. Like, your progression went down.
Well, yeah, I wasn't exercising, I wasn't doing the stuff I would normally do, and it affects someone with Parkinson's really quickly. I would say to people out there, if your person with Parkinson's has a sudden personality change, I would check on what they're doing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I would say it's not just a game.
Nope, learn that one.
Yeah, it's not just a game.
No. And I don't understand, because I never had get addicted to something. I wouldn't understand, but now addiction is very serious.
Yeah, and sudden.
And sudden.
It can happen very quickly. And the person suffering from the addiction, I gotta tell you, probably isn't having a lot of fun.
You know, you haven't been, did you?
It was not a fun experience, something I did not enjoy at all.
No. So now that he mentioned it, that he's got addicted to it, he asked for help, and I appreciate that you asked.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your help.
So the rule is I have to check his phone 3 times a day.
Yeah. Okay, is there anything else you wanted to mention, sweetheart?
I think you're doing very well on the positive.
Thank you.
You have not downloaded it, so I'm very proud, and you want to change, and that's the best thing. You want to change, and you want to do it. I'm just not telling you what to do. But I wouldn't know that would be an addiction thing. So just, hey, if you're sitting together, hey, what are you doing on the phone, or what are you up to, or what's so exciting on the phone?
Yeah, don't just walk away annoyed.
Don't walk away annoyed.
Yeah, have a look, find out. It's very important.
Yes.
And if you're caught in an addiction similar to mine, please reach out for help.
Yes.
There is help available out there, and it's very important that you do, because you could hate what you're doing and feel very much ashamed and embarrassed. Thank you for continuing to take this journey together. Thank you for liking, watching, subscribing, and sharing this video with your family and friends. Please leave a comment or a question below. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.
Bye.
Goodbye.